Hello everyone and welcome to Beginner's Code, a place for you to learn with me as I dive deeper into the coding world. Before I start, if you haven't yet, please check out my new website for blogs all about Python or my posts on Instagram that go into detail about the basics of Python. Or if you're looking for source code for some projects, then by all means check out my GitHub where there are over 70 projects that you can explore. The links for these will all be in the descriptions below, so please do check them out. Also, don't forget to subscribe to see more videos from me as I teach you through the basics. Okay, so today we are going to be looking at if statements and how to use them. So to start with, an if statement runs on a true or false Boolean. So if it is true, then it will run some code. So the layout of this would look like this. So if this happens, and then a colon at the end, and then do something. So to start with, the colon has to come at the end of the if statement, this line here, and then the next line has to be indented either using a single tab or 4 spaces. If it is not indented, then you will receive an indentation error. So to start with, if I was to do something like this, if true, and then print this was true. So if I run this, we should receive back this was true because the if statement has equated to true. Now, if it was to return false, then we can use an else statement to catch it and do something else that doesn't require the if. So if I do x equals false, and then if x, print true, else print false. So what this is doing here is we are making an x boolean or an x variable and assigning it to the false boolean. We are then using the x variable in the if statement, and because the if statement is then not returning true, we are going to be skipping this piece of code and going to the else statement. And the else statement will run no matter what. So in this case, we are going to be printing false, which you can see down here, it prints false. Now, we can also do this with numbers or with integers, numbers or with strings or with lists. We can do this with the length of them. We can compare different things. So there is a lot of uses with if statements. So just to show you, num is equal to 4. And then if we did num is double equal to 3, so that there is a comparison operator. We are comparing the variable of num, which is assigned 4, to the integer of 3. And obviously, if you haven't seen my previous video on comparison operators, then I will leave a card above that you can check it out. But obviously, 3 is not the same as 4. So what I'm going to do here is if 3 is the same as the num variable, then we will print your number is 3. We can then do print your number is not 3. So if I run this, we get back your number is not 3. But now we can also use an else if statement. And the else if statement works exactly the same way as the if, which is it will run on a Boolean, on a true Boolean. So if we did else if num is double equal to 4, then we can print your number is 4. Ooh. And if I run this, we get back your number is 4 because the num variable is assigned to 4, and that is double equal to the integer of 4. Now if I was to change this to 3 and run this, we get back your number is 3 because it is the same. But if I was to change this to something like 7 and run this, we get back your number is not 3 because this else statement has run. So to make this a bit clearer, your number is not 3 or 4. And if I save that and run it, your number is not 3 or 4. So we can also do this with something, we can also use more than one else if statement. So for example, if I did num is equal to 9, and then if num is less than 8, so that is another comparison operator. Make sure you do check out the video if you are unsure on comparison operators. And then print your number is less than 8. And then else if num is double equal to 10, print your number is 10. And then else if num is double equal to 9, print your number is 9. And then else print I don't know your number. So what we've got here is a double else if statement. So it will run through and it will see if the num variable is less than 8, which here it's not because it's 9. So it will skip this piece of code and it will go to this one, and it will see if 9 is the same as 10, which it's not. So then it will go to the next one and it will see if 9 is the same as 9, which it is. So it will print out this number here, 9. So if I run that, your number is 9. If I was to change the number that's assigned to the num variable to 10, we will get your number is 10. If I was to change this to 4, then we will get your number is less than 8 because the num variable 4 is less than 8. But if I was to change this to 20, we will get back I don't know your number because this num or these statements here have all returned false and then have just outputted the else statement, which will return no matter what the Boolean is for the else statement. So as I said before, we can do this with strings. So if I was to do word is equal to hello, and then if I wanted to find out the length of the word, or if I wanted to use the length of the word as a parameter to compare the if statement, and then did the length of word is greater than 7, print it's a long word. It's a long word. And then else if the length of word is less than 7, we will print it's a small word. And then else, so this one will run only if the word is exactly 7 letters. So this word is 7 letters. And that is because we are checking to see if it's greater than 7 or less than 7, but we are not checking to see if it is equal to 7. So the else will run if it's equal to 7. So the word hello has 5, so it's a small word. If I was to change this to hello, it will return it's a long word. And if I was to make this exactly 7, that's 6, that's 7, we get this word is 7 letters. So we can also use comparison operators to check if a string is exactly the same as a string. So if I was to do location is equal to bedroom, and then did if location is double equal to kitchen, then we will print this is the kitchen. Else if location is double equal to living room, we will print this is the living room. Else if location is double equal to bedroom, we will print this is the bedroom. And then else we will print any other location. So here, because the location is set to the string of bedroom, we will be outputting this is the bedroom. So if I run this, we get this is the bedroom. But if I was to change this to a lowercase b and then run this, we will get any other location. And this is because the capital B of this string here that we are comparing to location is different to the lowercase b here. And because it's different, it is not exactly the same, which means that it doesn't return true. If I was to change this to kitchen, we will get back this is the kitchen. Or if I was to change this to living room, we will get back living room. So these can be, we can use as many else if statements as we want. There isn't actually a limit on this, but I'm just going to show you one quick way of finding out odd or even numbers. So to do this, if we take a number and assign it to the variable, and then do, with an if statement, if num mod 2 is double equal to 0, we will print even, else we will print odd. So here, because 2 goes into 4 and doesn't leave a remainder, it will print even because there isn't a remainder. But if we were to change this to 1, it will print odd because there isn't a remainder. So this is, although the print returns even, this statement here, if num mod 2 equals 1, actually returns odd. So here, this would really need to be swapped around to have them work, or to have them print out the correct output. But if I was to change this to 7, we will get odd because 2 goes into 7 3 times and there is 1 left over. We can also use if statements or nested if statements. So if num mod 2, if I just quickly create a variable and then is double equal to 0, and then if num is greater than 6, print true. So what we're doing here is we are taking this num variable of 4 and we are making sure it is even. So if it is even, we will then go to this if statement and see if the number is less than 6. So we will return true here because both if statements have run. Notice the indentation between them. So every time you use an if statement, there will be a line of indentation after. So this will return true. If I were to change this to 5, we will not get any output because there isn't an else statement attached to the first if. So if I was to then do if num is less than 6, we will print odd but less than 6. And if I change this to even but less than 6, just to clear things up, and run this, we get odd but less than 6 because it skips through this one because it is an odd number, and it will return odd but less than 6 because the number is less than 6. That's all for today's video. Hopefully this has helped clear things up a little bit with if statements. There are a lot of different uses for them and they can be used to control the flow of a program to ensure something happens based on an output. So make sure you get a lot of practice with this. If there is anything that you'd like me to cover further, please don't hesitate in reaching out to me by dropping a comment below on Instagram or through my website. Stay tuned, as in my next video I will be coding a tkinter project that creates a graphical user face. If you have liked what we've been through today and you want to learn more, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date. Thank you and see you next time.